Hello everyone. So tonight, just like last time, is going to be a bulk pen night. We're not going to go through them one by one like most people do. Tonight I've been getting way too many pens, so I'm just going to go through a whole bunch at once. So last time it was the size 8 Chinese nibs. Tonight, therefore, is about the pens that aren't size 8 Chinese nibbed pens. They're still really interesting, actually. In fact, I love them a lot. So let's go over them and see what we find. Alright, so first up, we've got another Lamy hidden nib. So this is one of those, what is it, a torpedo hatch I like to call it. It's called the Lamy Dialog CC, and it's much like the other Lamy torpedo pen that we've looked at before, which is this one. So the Dialog 3. The only difference really is the surface finish on the cover and the length of the barrel down here. All the other bits seem to be essentially interchangeable. So looking at that, you can see that the length of the front end with all the mechanism inside is exactly the same. The Dialog CC is missing the clip, and I think that's the actual main point. It's because that clip, you know, unless you really enjoy having a thing immediately where you want to put your finger or thumb while you're writing, it kind of gets in the way and can be pretty annoying. So this is their answer to that problem right here. It's also a bit smaller, which is kind of nice. Like, I don't know. I mean, frankly, I don't really care. I think it's the right size either way. But whatever. This is the one that we're reviewing today because we've already seen this one. So let's get it on paper. Here we are. There it comes. Look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. All right. So this is the Lamy Dialog CC. And it's got, what does it have? It's got a dark lilac from, dark lilac. It's going to be the 2024, of course, and it is the Lamy, of course, of course, of course. Wonderful. All right, so that's that one, and I think it writes super duper well, right? Like the thickness of the line is already there, even though it's one of those vanishing nibs. It's pretty much the same as the other one. I think it's a glorious pen. I love this one. I use it a lot. All right. Away it goes. Look at that torpedo hatch. Oh, man. Never gets old, does it? What about the noise that it makes? Does it make a noise? Yeah. Yeah, look at that. Beautiful. And it comes slow-mo. Whoa. Look at that. Yeah, there's that dark lilac green again, isn't it? Yeah. All right, let's move on. It gets boring otherwise, doesn't it? All right, what do we got next? What do we got? We have, wow, this one. This is Moonman. It's a TI-200. Looks quite similar to the Lamy 2000, is it? I think so. So yeah, this is nice. It's got a titanium body, and it's got this beautiful little clip here that you can just see that notch there. And that, when you put the lid back on, listen to this. Like, first up, listen to the titanium. Listen. And then when it clicks in, it goes like this. Yeah, gotta get it in focus, please. Thank you. Listen to this. Yeah, love it. Absolutely love it. Again, and back in. Yeah. Awesome. So that's a 14 karat gold nib in there, hey? So 14 karat gold nib, titanium body. It's an extra fine, which is a bit of a pain, but let's write down what it is, okay? So we've right, it is Moonman. Moonman. Like that. It's TI-200. It's TI-200. It has a 14K gold EF nib. Right. And in terms of the ink, what is that? Tell you what, that looks exactly like the Oxblood. So that's the Diamine Oxblood. Right. So it writes pretty well, but I don't really like those thin lines that you get from an EF. Really don't. I like to be able to just do a little more than just make a streak of ink on a piece of paper. I like being able to make it a little thicker, a little thinner, a bit more flexibility in the colours. But I tell you what, just as an object, it doesn't get much better than this pen, hey? Click. Oh, yeah. Love it. All right, next. Okay, so let's get on to this one. This is a weirdo one, right? This one, when I bought it, all it said was it's a calligraphy pen, and it's got a bent nib, so it's a titanium nib. It's got a titanium nib apparently, but see that little hook in it there. So the beauty of that is that for someone like a left-hander like me, who doesn't really have much joy with the flex nibs, this is an alternative to that, because you can just, based on the angle, you can make super duper thick lines like that, or if you lift it up a bit, the same thing can just be quite fine, like that. So it's great. I mean, I'm not used to it yet, but, I mean, you know, of all the things that I can do as a left-hander to try and do calligraphy, I think this is much better option than trying to do it with a flex nib. Anyway, I digress. What is it? Well, when you read on the lid, it says huashilai. So I'm going to call it the huashilai. So huashilai. It's kind of hard to just write normally with this thing, but we'll give it a go, hey? And it's a 1.0 millimeter titanium. And it's the bent. Let's call it bent. Titanium bent, right? And it's the Diamine Spiced Apple. So it's fairly new ink. Diamine, or new for me anyway. Diamine Spiced Apple. Spiced like apple. Look at that. All right. So that's pretty special. That is pretty special. The ink is pretty special. Why is that ink special? Well, you might have seen in the swatching video that I did last, this one has a whole bunch of shimmer in it, and I think it's sort of green, but yeah, look, it's not coming up very... Oh yeah, there we go. On the word bent, you can sort of see it there. So I can get it shining again. Yeah, there it is. Look at that. Ooh, actually, yeah, that's really nice there. That's actually worked out pretty well. A little further away. There we are. Yep. Oh yeah, look at the angles. Turn it right, and the green comes out super well. Yep, winner. Absolute winner. What about in here? Yeah, not getting much green. Yeah, that'll do. It's pretty good. Actually, it's super good. I really like that. All right, let's get on with it, eh? The next one is this one. So this is a wing song. It doesn't look like all those wing songs that I've been using up to date, like big fatties with the 632 and the 630. Nope, this one is a Wing Sung 601A. What's special about it? Well, again, it's got one of those press lids where if you just pull it out, listen. Yeah, again, go back in, give it a bit of a rattle, and it doesn't click, it just goes yook. But that's fine. It just sort of presses in place. When I took the lid off, you might have seen this nib, which is a real weirdo. Look at that nib. It's a wraparound. So it goes all the way around the feeder there. Yeah, it's one solid piece. So this one's steel, but I reckon it'd look really nice in a white. It'd be really super duper awesome. The gold, as all would be. This one, the mechanism's another weirdo. So this has, I mean, you can see what's going on because it's fully transparent. But if I take that cap off there, off the bottom, it's got this little, I don't know, it's just like a little squirty thing where you press it in and it ejects the ink, and then when you let go, it's sprung loaded and it just sucks the ink back up again. So yeah, it's pretty interesting, and I like, it's actually a really pretty pen, I think, this one as well. Yeah, it's different. It's certainly different. All right, put the lid back on, the tail cap back on, and then we're just going to do some writing. So what are we going to say? We're going to say it's a 601. So Wing Sung. Oh wow, it's actually broader than I expected. Wing Sung 601. 601A. I don't know what the A stands for, but you know, I'm sure it's important. It's an F, so it's an F nib, steel, and it's a wraparound. But we're going to say then it's a Diamine Pansy, Diamine Pansy ink. Right. Gotcha. Right, there we are. Wing Sung 601, F nib, steel, wraparound, Diamine Pansy. And listen to the nib again. Oh, sorry, the lid. Crunch. Yeah, good enough. All right. Next, we have, oh, this is where it starts getting really interesting. It's super duper interesting. If you like those last ones, you're going to really love these ones. So this looks, I mean, it looks like a completely clear version of the, let's say, what is it, the Pilot, was it the Custom 823? Yeah? What do you reckon? Looks a lot like a Custom 823. The vacuum in there is identical. The dimensions are pretty much identical. The little ball there is the same as the Pilot style, isn't it? Yeah, exactly. And when you take it out, take the lid off, and you look at that thing, it's not quite as glorious, but you know, it's a bit smaller in the nib. It's steel, but it actually writes super well. So let's have a go. You know, so it's the Asfine. Oh, look at the volume of ink on that one. Asfine. It's the vacuum, so it's V, and it's the V126. There we are. Oh my goodness, that's incredible. I think that's just absolutely gorgeous. The ink, oh no, the nib, so it's an M. It's an M with steel, right? And the ink is, once again, it's diamine. Is it? Yeah, it's a diamine. Diamine, and it's upon a star. Upon a star. Like that. Great. Writes really well, hey. Super duper even, and the flow is solid. Really solid there. There is some shimmer in there that you may or may not be able to see in the light, but it's got some green in the shimmer and it's got some red in the sheen. And, you know, all around it's really beautiful dark ink. It flows super well, just like all those other Chameleon diamine inks that we swatched the other day. All right, so that's one of the Asfines. You can get like custom Bock nibs with these Asfines as well. You know, AliExpress, they'll look after you. Yeah. All right, that's that Asfine. There's another Asfine. This one. So this, unlike the other one, which was a vacuum fill, this one, oh, look at that. Look at the shimmer in that. Man, it's glorious. So this one is a piston filler. Therefore, it's an Asfine, but it's an Asfine P something. It's a P20. So there we are. That's really pretty, isn't it? Straight up Asfine nib. You got this little window here where you can see the volume of the ink. Need to refill. Yeah. So what is it? It's the Asfine. Again, lots of ink. Asfine P20, like that, and it is M. Steel nib. And it has the, oh yeah, so this one is the Van Diemen. And we're going to say it's the Mad Half Hour. Right. So that is one of my favorite inks. The Mad Half Hour ink has this incredible amount of green shimmer. And it comes out like just, once you see it rising to the surface in there, when it dries out and you get that big chunk of green just reflecting straight back at you, it looks incredible. Because you don't really expect it when you see that, right? It just looks like a fairly dark ink, unless you know that the person in front of you writing is a kind of maniac who's going to put some green glitter in their pen, you know? Yeah, it can turn some heads. Anyway, that's that one. That's the end of the Asfines. In fact, there's just one more to go. So one more. Which one? Well, it is this ADMOC. ADMOC M8000, right? So M800 sounds a fair bit like that Pelikan. Yeah, the 800 as well, or the 805. And actually, like, you look there on the clip, it's kind of a Pelikan's bill, isn't it? It's exactly the same as the Pelikan's clip. Quite pretty. I got to say, I was a bit disappointed with the finish on this pen. I was expecting it to be that galaxy that shines away and does that weird reflective thing, like like this one here from Asfine. I don't know. Even that, I thought, yeah, it could do like some more movement. But yeah, this is pretty cool. But I really do like it, and the reason I like it the most isn't so much about that. It's about the nib. So what do we got here? This, unlike the others, is German. It's the Bock. It's an aftermarket adjustment to the nib selection. We've, instead of getting the this ADMOC nib or whatever they give them normally, this is it's a Bock, and it's a Bock steel, but it's a Bock steel M size nib. So here we go. We're going to say it is the ADMOC. ADMOC. Let's get some focus here. Hey? Yeah. ADMOC M800. And it's got a BOC M. So BOC M steel. Yep, in brackets. And, oh yeah, the ink. So the ink is, again, it's a Van Diemen. Yeah, it is Van Diemen. Van Diemen. And it is the Gardens of Nineveh. Of Nineveh with an H. There we are. Look at that. No smudging at all. Amazing. Amazing. You know what else is amazing? We've finished the bloody video. It's time to go to bed, everyone. Good night.